to the Pumpkin Show. This is episode 2, and I got the one and only Smooth Vega in the building.
What's up? How you doing? How you been? Nice to finally meet you.
It's good to finally meet you too. It's been a long time coming.
Indeed.
All right, so he really, honestly, you all don't even need an introduction, but I would definitely give you one. Just to tell y'all a little bit about Smooth Vega. For sure, he's from Fort Worth, so he gets all kudos for that. What is it, Diamond Hill to be specific?
Exactly.
Okay,
North
Side. North Side. So basically, he's been recognized for K104 Street Swag Champ, recognized as Fort Worth Weekly's 3 times Best Rapper and R&B Artist. Dallas Observer has awarded you with Best Compilation for I Love Fort Worth.
Hey, my brother over here.
Yes. Fort Worth Star Telegram has named him Godfather of Fort Worth in hip hop. On top of all of that, you are the first Mexican American to be featured on the cover of Fort Worth Star Telegram and the first for Fort Worth Weekly, both of them.
Yeah.
And you hold both attendance and revenue records in Dallas Fort Worth from 2007 and to 2018, correct?
Something like that. More like 2007, 2008. But I mean, it's kind of subjective because I've done a lot over the years.
Yeah.
So, it's cool,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
And then the biggest thing of everything, he was inducted into Fort Worth the Music Hall of Fame back in July of this year. So kudos on that.
Hey.
That is huge. That is honestly really big. Like, what other artists have been inducted into the Fort Worth Hall of Fame?
That I know of on the hip hop side, just Twisted Black.
Just Twisted Black?
Just Twisted Black.
So I'm like, it's really something that I've never ever really heard of.
Yeah, well, they have it. There's a lot of stuff that exists in the city that a lot of people don't know,
Exactly.
I happen to be probably one of them,
Yeah, I'm actually ashamed because I feel like you're short.
I'm short.
I feel like I should have definitely known way more about you, just being from Fort Worth and how much I highlight Fort Worth and everything that's going on in Fort Worth. You got songs with Paul Wall. You done songs with beyond Paul Wall. What was the other dude's name?
There's a lot of people. I've worked with Flip. I've worked with Royce the 5'9", Crooked Eye.
That's who it was, Royce the 5'9".
There's a lot of people, but it's not only about the people that I've worked with. It's also the people that within the community that I feel that I've been able to mentor and coach over the years.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing about Fort Worth, whenever you're telling the Fort Worth story, there's so many different facets to the Fort Worth story. And how you tell the Fort Worth story, I don't think that. And I think I was talking to you on the phone the other day. I was like, hey, when we were just kind of going over everything, I was like, everything's very subjective, and there's no such thing as a right or a wrong. So, you're entitled to your opinion about who's doing what, and I'm entitled to who's doing what. I feel confident being able to put my accomplishments in front of anybody, and saying, I have a place in this.
Mm-hmm.
And I take pride in that, but in terms of who's doing what, that's all based on opinion, because a lot of people judge success differently, and I always tell people how you define success is based on your interpretation of what success means to you.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's a lot, we live in this social media era right now where a lot of people only define success by how many followers you have, how many views on YouTube
Popularity
you have.
contest.
Yeah, I mean, but there's people that have 1,000 followers that I know that are in the industry that are richer than people that have 100,000 followers.
Exactly. It's not people who want to stay low key and don't want to be all out there, and I mean they just don't like the hype. They ain't looking for fame. They're really doing it because it's something that they love to do, and so that's just a little part of what you've been doing.
So.
That's literally a little part.
Little part.
You're also the founder of Premier Live.
Hey.
So I definitely want to jump into that. So basically, if y'all don't know, Premier Live basically brings in all types of artists here for all their concerts. He pretty much putting on for the city all the way. So basically, you have done you put on shows for Nipsey Hussle, Jordan Lucas, Royce 5'9", Joe Budden, Dave East, Bun B.
Say Dave East again. Isn't that your baby daddy?
I love Dave East.
I know you love Dave East.
Boy, Dave East so fine. Look, I'm looking for a nigga to give some babies. Okay, let's stop. Bun B, Chamillionaire, The Game, Genuine, Rakim, Scarface. It just goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on.
We get it. All right.
basically, out of all of this, so you worked with all these artists, you've done all this with Premier Live, bringing all these events into town. I just wanted to know, like, what can you say was one of the worst? Since you work with all these artists, like the roster goes on.
Oh, the worst. There's a lot of horror stories in promotion and doing events, and I could share a lot of them. I will say that in terms of my least favorite event that I've ever done, I work with Joel Santana.
I love Joel.
I don't.
I used to love Joel.
No, you know what? Joel's was alright. You know, it wasn't so much. It was just I feel like there's certain artists that, you know, because I had booked Cameron, and so when I booked Cameron, I remember him going over and beyond for the fans, and he stayed in the venue to the point where the venue had to kick him out because he was meeting everybody, and even whenever he went outside, he was still meeting people in the park, in like a little parking lot or whatever in front of the building. So I thought that was real cool of him to like show people love. You know what I'm saying? Like and I didn't know. Maybe I was expecting, just because of the affiliation, that he was going to be the same way. Hell no, he was trying to get out of there as soon as at first chance he got. So I would say he was probably my least favorite experience. And then also, I think working with the game, I've shared this story 100 times. That was awkward because he has a really aggressive manager. Wack 100 is a really aggressive individual. So, you know, there was that situation, but yeah, there's several stories in between. But
so the game was aggressive. What do you mean by that?
No, the game was cool. His manager, Wack 100, it was a fucking, yeah, he was everything he is on Facebook and Instagram and all that. So yeah, it was just
I don't even follow him. I gotta
you gotta do your research and you'll see what I mean. Yeah, it's like that. You know, I always tell people, you ever see that Cat Williams special whenever he's talking about people being mad at breakfast?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him.
Oh, he just like always upset for no fucking reason.
Yeah, he's like mad. Like, he's just mad at life. Like, damn, bro, you woke up.
And he's somebody manager? Like a big time manager? Yeah. He always mad, spreading that badass energy?
Blueface. Yeah, he manages a lot of people.
Blueface. I mean.
You know, it is what it is. But anyways, that's my, you know, least favorite experience, I would say. And I mean, there's other situations that, you know, we've worked with several artists that we booked that the shows didn't go through, so those are always bad, you know. But
yeah, because it was like false promo and everybody.
Like, oh, it's all your fault. Like, you don't know, you have no idea what went on. But I think we booked DMX in 2015. I shared the story before as well. And the day that we booked him, it was in Pittsburgh actually. We booked him the morning of the show. It was like probably like 2-3 in the morning. I get a text, and he got arrested the morning of the show.
Of course.
Of course.
Typical DMX behavior.
Hey, I'm saying though, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, so you asked me, those are the first things that come to mind always. But Joel Santana was like, I don't know, maybe because I was kind of looking forward to it.
Yeah, like I loved Joel. He was the youngest one in the group.
Everybody wanted to be him. Everybody was trying to wear the bandana. I was like, yeah,
cool one. But like I did get to see a different side of him when he did get on TV for Love and Hip Hop and everything, and like him with Kim Bella and all the little crazy stuff. And he got like some teeth that don't work. I mean, that are too big for his mouth or something. But anyways, so yeah. So with you talking about all the bad, who was the absolute best person?
Oh man, that's hard too. That's actually tougher than the bad one. The bad one comes to mind really quick.
Of course.
The good ones, there's been so many good ones because it depends on how you define them. It depends if you define an event or a headliner that you work with based off of how much tickets were sold, how many people came to the event. There's also certain events that were like turning points in my career and turning points in the for the company at one point. So I think you have that aspect of it that you want to factor in. I would say that my favorite event, if I had to just pick one, would probably be the event that I did with Camilla in 2015 in Fort Worth. I sold out a show in Fort Worth, and it wasn't really a big show. I've actually sold out bigger events in Fort Worth without any headliners. But it was something about that specific event, the timing of it, when it happened, the fact that it was in Fort Worth, the fact that I admired and respected Camilla growing up so much. That was special to me. So that's my favorite. And then obviously,
where at in Fort Worth?
It was a venue called the Live Oak that doesn't exist anymore. But it was really dope. But aside from that, I would say the first show I sold out in Dallas was special to me. The first show I sold out in Houston was special to me. The first show I sold out in San Antonio was special to me. So every one of them have different meanings to me. I think being able to work with certain artists early on in their career, like Joyner, being able to do that early on is meaningful.
He's so slick, though.
You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the events with Dave East were special as well. You know
I wish I was around for the Dave East.
Yeah, he's actually coming back in town in a few months. I got the insight, you know what I'm saying? So I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. I got you. I'll see if I can put in a word for you. You know what I'm saying?
I just want to meet him.
No, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. I've introduced a lot of people to Dave East, and they all post photos online like they know him. So
I would do the exact same thing. I know him.
Like you about to be the next one that know him.
Exactly.
But anyways, and then obviously like working. See, this is the thing people don't understand. When I started doing shows, I didn't do shows to just generate money and make a living or whatever. It was also because I really was a fan of the people that I was booking. So like Joe Budden, Royce the 5'9", those guys were people that were my favorite rappers. So I really, really enjoyed booking them and really enjoyed working with them and getting a chance to know them and establish working relationships with them. So those are really meaningful to me.
So Joe Budden was your favorite rapper?
One of them, actually. He was one of my favorite. Yeah, he was one of my favorite rappers. Yeah, for sure. You gotta hear his
Name
music.
one more song besides that.
Pump It Up. See, you don't know, man. He got a lot of songs, man. People
I know he do, but I just feel like I know Joe Budden just based on strictly loving hip hop, and now his podcast is so successful.
He's one of the most successful podcasters in the world. But
yeah,
he's incredible. He's an incredible lyricist, and then you also have. Nipsey. I mean, that goes without saying. That goes without saying. I don't know. You really, like, that's just part of it, But there's so many great memories that I've had doing it. We have, Genuine. I'm working with him again in a couple weeks. You know what I'm saying? That's one of my favorite people to work with. We got a lot of events coming up here in the next few months. So you better see. Yeah. You better see.
And y'all, don't forget we are giving away 2 tickets for Cassidy and 2 tickets for Genuine.
Giving them away.
They are right here.
You want these always like the status, share the status, do what we do,
Share, like, tune in. But yeah, that's dope. So like,
I mean, there's a lot of memories. There's a lot of good memories.
A lot.
You got to think. I've probably done at this point, no exaggeration, hundreds of shows all across the state. I've done shows really out of the state as well. I've had my hand in work with so many people. It's just hard to like narrow it down and say that's my favorite. But I would say Chameleon One stands out to me because I remember going home like, damn, this was special to me because how much I admired him and how much I respected him. But then again, I mean, everyone has a different meaning. Yeah. But I think it depends. And then too, people always try to like pinpoint like the starting point of when things started really picking up, and they're like, oh, you didn't take off till that. I'm like, yeah, what the hell are you talking about? I've been doing this since 2007. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing. Like, really, if you really want to be technical, my favorite event that I ever did was actually an event that I did on my own in 2007. That was like super massively successful. But
which one?
It was an event I did. It was an all age event. It was like 1,400 people at Club Chrome. You remember Club Chrome?
I remember Club Chrome. I was too young, I think, like 07.
Yeah, don't make me feel that old.
What was it? 07? I graduated high school in 10, so 07 I was just getting into high school.
Yeah. Where did you graduate from?
ODY. Hey, shout out to ODY, Chaparrals.
What's up?
I mean, what school is in Diamond Hill? What's that?
Diamond Hill.
Yeah, I'm like, y'all like green or something, right?
No, that's Triple Tech. You got the colors off and stuff.
What is Diamond Hill?
Diamond Hill's black and red. We Eagles over here.
Yeah.
Tripping.
I don't think we ever played Diamond Hill, but I used to play for Diamond Hill Rec when I was younger. I played basketball.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah, Diamond Hill Rec. Yeah, that's like the staple. It's a staple for sure. That's like the mecca of the neighborhood. Yeah. You know Diamond Hill is the capital of Fort Worth, right?
No, it's not. Definitely not. Diamond Hill is not the capital of Fort Worth.
So, yeah, anyways, let's continue with this. So, yeah, we've had some really good stuff.
No, but, like, with everything that just, like, with the passing of Nipsey Hussle, is there anything that, like, any specific conversation that you just took to heart, or one thing he said to you to be like, it really stuck with you?
Well, I spoke with him. It is funny because
And you just worked with his management team,
yeah,
too, right?
Yeah. So, we talked about the podcast, right? So, I have a podcast that I started back in April. And when I started the podcast back in April, I established a good working relationship with his team. This is really what it comes down to. And I had already... See, this is the thing people don't understand. Like, I booked Nipsey in June of last year, but we had met prior to that.
Where did I meet at?
Topgolf.
When he was in Dallas at Topgolf. I've seen a few people go to that, and I'm like, dang, he just out here like.
It's a long story because the way that he was strategizing, and at the time the way that they were working him to the markets,
right?
He wasn't spending all this big marketing money on trying to like mass promote to the public.
What he was doing. He ain't radio to do much.
No. Hold up. Let me tell you accurately what was going on. He was spending marketing money, and the label was spending marketing marketing money on doing these mixers to invite all the influencers in the area, radio station DJs, personalities, just people that are part of the market. No, this is he was doing this in every city. So in Dallas, he would bring the top people from Dallas, you know, or not top, but, you know, people that have reach, and then he would invite them out. Same thing in Houston, same thing in San Antonio. Wherever he was setting up at, that's what he was doing. And I was fortunate enough to be at the one in Dallas, and that's when I first met them. So when I met them, you know, I had already got an email in January about booking this tour.
Right.
So I met his team. Then we established a good working relationship. His manager happens to be Hispanic. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of identified one another. I started calling him my cousin. And I was like, "You're my primo." So
Spanish got a lot of cousins.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We do not die. We absolutely multiply.
Yeah, and I was staying in the same house.
For real.
Okay, I'm gonna stop. All right, that's my
All
last
right.
joke.
Stop.
Okay, go.
Stop.
That's my last joke.
And you wonder why they're trying to build the wall right now. You know what I'm saying? No, but let me tell you. So, you know, I had mentioned to you whenever the podcast came up, they didn't do any interviews for any media outlets. They did one interview outside of like Rolling Stone and LA Times, and it was mine. And they just did an interview like last week, but I was really happy that I got that interview. But no, just seeing them operate, that was cool. You know, I actually the last time he was in Dallas was in February, and I booked an after party for him. I spent time with him with the VIP, and you know, I set them all up or whatever. Just doing typical promoter shit, I guess you would say. But even though I wasn't the promoter, but I was the one that brokered the deal. I remember the program director at K104 was there. His name's Gio, by the way. But he was there, and I remember Nipsey tapped me, and he's like, "Make sure to bring him over here." Like, he tapped me to get him over there, and I did that. So I remember that in my head because he valued relationships with people like that were, you know, instrumental in his career. And I think that's one thing that I took away from being around him. Like, they treated people with respect, you know, and that's why I felt he was able to attain some of the success that he was, you know, prior to his passing. Because I think a lot of times when I book artists, it's so funny. You know, you have 5,000 Facebook friends, right? And let's be honest, only like 10% of the friends actually even see your post. But the ones that see your post, like, maybe 10% of them might know what the hell you're talking about. So I might be like, "Yo, I got so-and-so coming to town." They're like, "I don't even know who the fuck that is." You know what I'm saying? And I actually got a lot of that for when I booked him, which I thought was weird.
With Nipsey?
Yeah, man, you'll be surprised.
No,
I ain't never heard of him.
I know people just hopped on the train after, you know.
Nah, but, you know, it was cool, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was cool to be able to be part of that and to have people say, "Oh, well, that, you know, we don't know who he is," and then the show sells out, you know, so that's always a good thing, too. So, and then, you know, going back to East, you know, your baby daddy, East.
I know.
You know, selling out the shows with him in a market that he's quote unquote not known in. You see, you have situations like that. A Boogie with the hoodie, so on and so forth. So, pretty cool.
Well, that's dope. So you got to your podcast a little bit. Let's just talk about that. Like, your podcast is doing numbers right now.
Something like that.
You just picked up by iHeart.
Yeah. We're doing some cool shit, man. I got some really big guests coming up in December. That's part of my toy drive initiative. You know what I mean? So, like, there's a lot of cool things that are happening with that. I could tell you why I did a podcast, and that's a good conversation for any situation. I started a podcast because I was giving away so many interviews to media outlets, whether it be the Dallas Observer, the Dallas Morning News, D Magazine, Cosign Magazine. I was giving all these interviews away. And after a while, you give all these interviews away, and what you want people to do when you give them these interviews, and what I mean by that is, if I bring a national artist to town, and the company's paying for this show, what do you think the company wants? Let me ask you that. What do you think the company wants if we're giving you an interview?
Money?
No. Publicity, right? We want a little bit of love back. We want you to be able to...
Like, oh, you just want people to shout you out and like...
Not so much shout me out, because that sounds vague. That sounds really like, not only...
You just wanted someone to give you some credit.
Nah, that sounds, and then again, that sounds a little bit...
It don't sound vague. I mean, you give what the fuck you demand. Like, if I brought y'all him, and the only reason why this is established...
Here's the thing about that. See, this is the thing about it. If I bring it, I want you to redirect it to what is going on. So if we have a show, tell people to come to my show. If we're giving you the interview, right? If we do this, so I gave several interviews to 97.9. Be honest with you. They would never shout out the company like, "Oh, you're not spending any radio advertisement money with us." But they'll put the fucking video on their YouTube channel. they'll upload it on fucking Instagram, and they'll tag themselves and fucking pound on their chest like they're the ones that did it. Mm-hmm. They'll sell advertisements to people off of the fact that they're running, you know, ads during a high-profile interview on their YouTube channel as well, but they won't mention the name of the company because we didn't run advertisements with them. But we're giving them access. So I just kind of got tired of giving it away, and I felt like I was going to play it. I was like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm the one setting up these interviews, so fuck it. I'm keeping all the interviews to myself. And if I give an interview away, it's because I like you. It's because we established a good working relationship. So, hey, Dallas Observer, I fuck with you. Hey, Dallas Morning News, I fuck with you. And a lot of the writers that I fuck with, they know who they are. I don't need to shout them out. But there was also certain, you know, platforms. It's just like, it didn't make sense to me anymore to give it away. Like, why am I giving this content away? If I'm booking these artists that range anywhere from as low as $5,000 to as much as $40,000, right? If not more in some cases, right? I have access to these people. Meaning, if I have a fucking camera crew, they're more likely to do something for me because I'm the one cutting the check, even though I might not physically be cutting the check for me than they would for somebody else. So why would I give somebody else's YouTube channel that when I could be keeping it for me? And here's the fucking crazy part, right? Whenever I started doing these high-profile interviews, when I first started, I was giving away my interviews to them. And then when I told them, like, hey, I gave some interviews to another YouTube channel. I said, hey man, I want to start my own platform. You know, I want to bring you on as a personality. I want to, you know, bring these interviews over here. They're like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Anytime I've ever asked anybody to do, like, hey, you know, I'll give you the interviews, but it has to be on my platform. They always tell me no. Because people want it on their platform, which is completely understandable. But you understand where I'm coming from, right?
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of, like, I started the podcast out of the fact that I can control the content. And in the process, it happens to be working because at the end of the day, broadcasting is going into another spectrum. You know, like I saw Chris Jericho, who, you know, is a professional wrestler. I saw this video of him that he said, you know, the one thing about podcasting, right? The thing about podcasting is, he's like, I've been knowing Ozzy Osbourne for over 6 years. Ozzy Osbourne will do a fucking phone-in radio interview all day, every day for a radio station in Seattle that is live for 15 minutes and maybe 40,000 people listen to it, and then it's gone forever. Instead of doing a podcast, for example, that reaches millions of people that will be archived and will always be able to be accessed, and people still don't get that concept. Like, you don't understand. Like, right now, everything's being streamed, so if I put my interview up right now, I interview a high-profile person right now, I dump the episode on whatever digital platform that it's on, people can listen to it as they please, when they please, for as long as it's there. So you don't have to be in the car at 7 p.m. to listen to this radio interview and you miss it. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of advantages behind it, but ultimately I just got tired of giving it away.
Yeah. So, I mean, you gotta, I feel like that's the smartest thing for you to do is to make your own platform. And then even like beyond your podcast, like if we go back, you did this before with your own, like making your own platform when I seen an interview on
Well, I did like a YouTube channel. I did a YouTube channel and I had a girl that I'm really cool with act as the host. We did it for as long as we could, and we were doing that with Real Life Street Stars. As a matter of fact, Real Life Jeff was doing all the videos, but that was right before his shit just popped. As soon as his shit popped, I quit asking because I knew that there was going to be an emphasis on what he was doing, and I respect that. And I'm super proud of those guys. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Real Life Street Stars. I was actually the second.
For real,
guest.
Shout out to Real Life Street Stars because they gonna come do an interview with me.
But you know, that's what I was trying to get to. I think it was more so like, I just don't want to give it away. So even if I only draw and establish a following of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people, those are my 3,000 people.
Right.
And nobody can take that away. And I can always go and redirect and refeed and redistribute my content to those people at any given time, however I choose to do it.
Exactly. So what I was going to say is, like, if we go all the way back, you had started like some type of dance show.
It was a dance competition. That's actually how I did that. So it wasn't a dance show. What it was is I used to put together dance competitions. It was like choreography. So this is around the time like You Got Served was hot, America's Best Dance School was hot, and I just got exposed to this world that it was really big, that a lot of people didn't know. It was like a whole underground scene within itself, and I jumped on it. I started putting events together. I added a concert element.
This was in Fort Worth?
This was in Fort Worth. Really? Shit was lit. You know, 2007 to 2009, y'all, it would fuck y'all's head up. This was popping. There was like 1,400 people at every event. It was crazy. But it was the best time of my life. I was 22 years old at the time, and I had no idea what I had, but it taught me so much about business. It taught me so much about, you know, my reach and my influence, because I think at times you know, all this shit, man, everything's so subjective. You could teach people how to rap. You could teach people how to do a lot of things. You can coach people on how to talk. You can coach people how to do this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, you can't teach them how to want it, and you cannot teach them influence. They either have that or they don't have that. You either connect or you don't connect. You either make people react or you don't make people react. If I say some shit right now and I make you react, that's a gift.
Yeah.
I hate to say it that way. That goes for anybody. You know, there's some people that abuse that because they'll post negative shit on the internet just to get a reaction. I'm just like, man, get the fuck out of here, man. Don't nobody care about that. You know, use it to your advantage and be as productive as possible and try not to be as gimmicky. But anyways, yeah, I was doing dance competitions and that was really a fun time. It was special. That's what I'm saying.
You started doing that basically because wasn't no one booking you for shows?
Yeah, I wasn't getting booked for shows.
I'm just going to start my own platform.
Yeah, hell no, man. I ain't going to wait for y'all. Because I didn't know how the game worked. Coming into the game, I didn't know how it worked. I didn't know that, you know, promoters were charging people to play. I didn't know that. You know, I didn't know any of it. I didn't understand it. It wasn't something that I woke up and I got. You got to be taught. You got to learn it. All I knew was I wanted to be part of some shit, and I wasn't part of some shit. So I was like, I'm gonna start my own shit. And then whenever I started making some money, I was young and dumb, and I was spending my money freely and stupid. Like, oh, I'm gonna buy a car cash. I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm young, so I had trial and error. But as I was going through that trial and error period, I was able to say, well, you know what? I want to work with that person, and I work with them. I would book them. I would basically say, I want to work with that person. There has not been, but maybe a handful of people that I have said that I really want to work with that I haven't worked with.
How are you reaching out? Like, who are you reaching out to?
Man,
Reach out to management?
It's the power of the internet. You know, whenever I was younger, people used to ask me, how do you get in contact with people? I'm like, look, I don't complain. That's one. You know what I'm saying? I don't bitch. That's the second thing. And at the end of the day, what I do is
like, are you sliding in DMs or what? Well,
back in the day, it was just flat out emails. You know, I would go to the websites, find contact information. It's knowing how to compose and articulate an email. That goes a long way, by the way. If you if you have hella typos and you're posting shit and you know they'll read through that. You know, so I was able to just reach out and always present. You know, basically I would cross-reference like PowerPoints, you know, like XYZ, like, and so when I would do that, that's what led for the conversation to at least be initiated. And I feel like if you give me the opportunity to at least speak to you, I can give you my perspective. And 9 out of 10 times, I usually get an answer. You know what I mean? I don't really get ignored. I'll get a yes or a no, but I'll get an answer.
You was putting like all your money up front to bring
on when I was a kid, I was definitely doing it. I mean, as you get older, you know, and the further that I got in, you know, business, you know, you'll learn that OPM is part of the business. You know, other people's money, you got to know how to, like, you know, there's going to be investors that are going to want to get involved. There's going to be people that are, you know, whether that be venues, whether that be individual private investors. It happens, but yeah, I mean, I would say 80% of my shows have always been me. That didn't, you know, people used to go, man, do you have any investors? I'm like, yeah, Wells Fargo. You know, my
bank account.
My line of credit, cuz, you know, like, I would take money, I would do a show, and then I would repay myself, and then I would keep it rolling for as long as I could. But, you know, it's a dangerous game, man.
Yeah, because you're taking a bet. Like, you're putting all your money out
there.
Man,
somebody told me a long time ago that promotion is professional gambling. And it is. You know what I'm saying? You got to just bet on yourself. And you got to know that this is what you want to do.
Yeah. Because
a lot of people get into it and they think that, you know, the term now is clout, right? Oh, everybody wants the clout. Everybody wants to be known. Everybody wants to be cool. Everybody wants to. And I've been called a clout chaser, which I think is ridiculous because I've been.
I don't think it's nothing wrong with being a clout chaser.
No, there is if you're doing it for the wrong reason. See, this is the thing about it. If you started to get in this industry just to get that, it's a big difference between someone that's been doing it since I was a fucking kid. You know, this is I didn't grow up wanting to be a ball player or anything else. It was like I want to do music, and that's what I.
Right. So as long as it's your dream.
Yeah, this is what you want to. Yeah, to me that eliminates your argument. But for the record, okay, cool. I'm a clout chaser, so you say, but I'm saying though, what you coming in with that intent, people fall off. Like I see it all the time. Every year, shout out to my man Renaissance. He told me this a long time ago. Every year you have 100 people that pop up, and every year you got 98 of them that leave, and you might have 1 or 2.
They told us that our freshman year in college.
Did they?
Yeah, they was like half of the people that come in.
You know what they call that? Process of elimination. Process of elimination. Every year I hear it. We're doing this, we're doing that, man. Every year you hear that. I was telling you the other day, I'm like, man, you know, I'm a competitor, by the way. So, you know, I'm very competitive, and I want to win in everything I do. So I'll hear people say, oh, you know, I'm the best promoter in town. I'm like, man, get the fuck out of here. No, you're not. You know what I'm saying? we're this, we're that. You know, I'm like, all right, cool. I'll chop liver.
And most people who promote us, they're like a group now, so it's like a whole
but you know
group
what?
of people.
I think what it is that you need to broadcast that because you want people to buy into what it is, and it is law of attraction, and I do believe in overselling. You know, because I study some of the biggest and best promoters in the world, whether that be, you know, on the boxing side, Bob Arum, Oscar De La Hoya, on the pro wrestling side, Vince McMahon, and you know. Just seeing how they handle their promotions. Every fight is the biggest fight. Mm-hmm. They're never going to say, well, this fight is going to be shitty and someone's going to get knocked out, you know, like in the first round, and you're going to waste your money. They always make sure that they sell the fight with a certain level of, you know, excitement. So, you know, I get it. You know what I mean? That's me. That's what I do. I don't mind people selling themselves and getting people interested in what it is that they're doing. And if they have to say that they're the best to get people interested, so be it. But you better be ready to, like, own that.
Live up to all that shit that you
for sure, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
I'm like, yo, I got an epic announcement coming at, 1 p.m. and then you drop it and it's not something that people care about. People quit believing it. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, y'all better care about my shit when I say I'm on this bitch at 8 p.m. Y'all better.
How did you get the name Pumpkin?
Pumpkin. So I would have to say my granny gave me the name Pumpkin.
Oh, that's special.
And I feel like it just stuck with me. So my whole life, everybody's always called me Pumpkin.
Your whole life, that's been your name.
My whole since I can remember, my name has been Pumpkin. Kenitha came around with I'm sorry, everybody. My real name is Kenitha. Don't ever bring it up. But I feel like that's really only when I became
That's a unique name.
Kenitha?
Yeah.
It's not really. It's Kenneth with an A. I'm a legit junior. Like I have his middle name and last name, but
proud man.
Anywho,
anyways,
but anyway, yeah. So really, Kenitha only if someone wants to call my phone and be like, "Can I speak to Kenitha?" It's like a bill collector, like something that's legit in my name, or someone from work. Like my teachers called me Pumpkin growing up from elementary to high school, everything, all my family. So it just stuck with me. Where you get Smooth Vega from?
Man, that is probably the most common question I've been asked over the last 20 years. Smooth Vega is probably the silliest name I've ever heard. You know, but I came up with it. I was a kid. I wanted to rap when I was a kid. So I did not know what I wanted to go by. And I happened to be going through like that puberty phase in my life where I was like, you know, I left the school that I was going to. I got expelled and I went to another school and I liked a few girls that I had a crush on. In specific, there was one. And back in the day, we didn't have text messages, so we used to write love letters. All right.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, I'm not that old.
No,
we still wrote love letters too.
Yeah, but I'm
not that young. That's what I meant.
But
to say.
I was sending letters through friends to other schools. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like,
you was
yeah. So it was like that. We were like telegramming people, and anyways, everybody used to have nicknames, and so I was like, yo, all the girls in this new school call me Smooth because I had just heard Smooth Criminal with Michael Jackson on the radio. So I was like, oh yeah, Smooth Criminal, yeah. And then I heard Smooth Operator right after that. So I was like, Smooth's my name. And I stuck with that for like 2 years, and then I was like, yo, this shit is so lame. I need to add something to it. And so I went to the dictionary, and around that time, that was like when the whole Scarface phase was like really, really relevant, and all the Hispanic guys were like really trying to like glorify fucking Tony Montana and all the fucking that whole lifestyle. So I was like, yo, I want to add a Latin flair to my name. And I didn't want to use my last name, and I didn't really want to use my first name, so I went to the dictionary and I came across Vega. And Vega, Smooth Vega, and around that time there was Bubba Sparks, P.D. Pablo. I was like, Smooth Vega. Man, this sounds just as corny as that shit. I'm going to stick to this. And it was funny because in the dictionary it actually stood for the brightest star in the constellation, and I'm a bitch, I am too. So that's how it happened. I have no other reasoning behind it, and I put it online. I registered my website in 2002, smoothvega.com, and to this day, it is still active. For 17 years, smoothvega.com has been a thing. You know how many people have had a website for 17 years? I don't need it. You know what I mean? Like, especially not around Fort Worth.
Right, 17 years. Yeah. I didn't even think that. How long? I mean, I feel like it was like AOL startup.
Oh,
like,
shit.
It ain't smoothvega at AOL.com.
No, it was smoothvega.com. Dial up.
17 years.
I went to Southwest High School yesterday. I was talking to the kids.
Shout out to Southwest.
Shout out to Southwest, man. They got an incredible music program out there. Shout out to Mr. Petrelli and all the great students that are doing some amazing things over there. I mean, when I tell you they have a phenomenal program out there, those are the stars of the future forward. They're going to produce so many great musicians out there. They have an incredible program. They got a recording studio there. So like, there's kids that are.
Southwestern got some money.
No, they're spending. I mean, these kids are laying out verses, laying out songs during school hours. It's like it's the best thing I've ever seen. And I was there yesterday, and I was telling them, I was like, yo, I used to have a website, and I was sharing a story about when I first got my first computer and how when I got my first computer, I was so excited because they were asking me like, well, how do you move the needle in your career? They didn't say it like that, but they asked me like, how do you progress? And I said, honestly, whatever it is that you have in front of you, you see your advantage. If all you have is a computer, make that motherfucker your best friend.
That's right.
And you got to promote, you got to market, you got to do whatever you can. Get in people's inboxes. Be aggressive, be assertive, but above all, just use what's in front of you. And all you have is this, and use that. Because a lot of people make excuses. You know what I'm saying? Find solutions.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you the other day. So like we spoke the other day, and I was just like, I just feel like I had to start, if I didn't have like all this software and all this different stuff to do.
You
and
need
like
new photos.
My photo, I already know. I already know, and I'm gonna.
You gotta start on these hoes.
I know,
Straight
I
up.
will, but I'm just like, I wasn't gonna push it back again based on not having a promo video, a photo, a new this, a new that.
You should have already had it though.
No, but the thing is, I jumped into. Well, it ain't jumping. The thing is, it's preparation. And it will come down the road. And I think the more I keep pushing shit off, knowing me, the shit will probably never, ever go.
But I give you credit for that. Because a lot of people look at people that do stuff and they're like, oh, man, I wish, you should have done this, that, and the third different. But none of them even have the courage to do it themselves.
Yeah, for sure. I've heard that from a lot of people. Like, it's always got, like, input and don't even have nothing.
Valued input is
I feel like I lost a lot of, like, friends back when I had my other show based on that. Like, for real. But we ain't even worry about them. We are not worried about them. I don't give a fuck about degrading nobody, but it ain't about them.
You should call your show the No Filter Show.
Shit, it is a no filter. Listen, I'm so happy I can fucking cuss now. Like, I used to be so limited. I can say a motherfucking cuss word. And now I get the cuss, so I am proud and happy about that.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't work. I used to have people try to come on there. Okay.
Bitch. Yes.
I used to have people try to come on the show and like freestyle. And they'll be like, I'm like, no, like edit, no, don't curse. And they used to be like, fucking, I can't fucking do it without cursing. So I'm like, fuck, I'm so glad I can cuss now.
It's all good.
So I hope everyone's been sharing. We will still.
I don't even know. I've been live and I don't even know who's watching on my side.
You don't even have your live set up right. Like, look at that angle.
Man, that's what we.
It's literally got the TV and that's it.
Man, that's cool.
You can at least put me in there.
Man,
they can hear it.
They can hear it. That's all that matters. All they need to do is hear it.
Yeah, but
there
people
you go.
Like visuals.
There you go. Eye candy, boy. All right, let's get back to it.
All right. So you have for years been launching the biggest toy drives in Fort Worth.
Oh, that's no. I just met with here Fort Worth today, man. I met with Visit Fort Worth, and I was talking to them about it. And I'm like, you know what? I hate to use the word unprecedented, but that's really what's happening with the toy drive. I have an amazing group of people that support me. I have an amazing sponsor / friend / family member that always comes through and always wants to ensure that we give the best possible experience to the community. And not only are we going to do it within Fort Worth, we try to, this year I want to do 3 events. I want to do one in Dallas as well. Spread the love, you know what I'm saying? And really, we raise toys for, we was for an orphanage in downtown. They moved it recently. But beyond that, we also, for the record, I want to sponsor a few families this year, a few single moms, a few low-income families that may be in need, just help them out. We might not broadcast that situation, because we want to respect the families that we help out. But, we always try to ensure that we put together an event that's meaningful. And what I mean by meaningful is we've done free concerts. We've worked with professional athletes, whether it be Terrell Owens, whether it be Nelson Cruz. This year, we've been talking to a lot of people. I mean, I was on the phone yesterday with Jadakiss people. I don't even want to give away who we got. We got a few people that were coming.
Can you just call me on 3-way one day when you're on the phone with him?
No, there's nothing. We got a lot. We got a lot of people that we got. Now hold on, you're not letting me finish.
I got you.
We got a lot of cool shit that's coming, and I'm so excited. I mentioned to you about doing the live podcast. That's something that's going to be part of the Toy Drive week. But what I was telling the people at Fort Worth today was like, I want you guys to get involved because I've always done it independently. And one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that throughout the course of everything you mentioned, with the exception of maybe like a 12-month block in there, I did all of this by myself in regards to like laboring. not so much like funding per se, and maybe not so much in terms of whatever. But I did like everything in terms of the booking, the promotion, the running of the show. There was a point in time where I would show up first and I would leave last, but I'm a one-man fucking machine. And so when people would criticize me, man, I have no idea how many hats I actually wear and how many people that I brought in the process and taught them the game and they were able to run with it and do their own thing too. But it was.
We need more people to volunteer. I feel like there's people in Fort Worth.
I need interns, man.
Yeah, or just people who want to volunteer.
Where the interns
nice
at?
For kids and.
Oh, when you talk about the toy drive. Oh, yeah, we talk about the toy drive.
Period.
No,
you
hey.
say you're a one-man standing band. I feel like there's so many people who can get involved.
No, we are. So let me tell you, with the toy drive this year, I'm assigning certain people. I got a few friends of mine that I said, hey, you can be one of my elves this year. So I'm gonna dress them up as like elves, and we're gonna just
check you out. We got elves, y'all.
Yeah, we're gonna do it real big. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna dress them up. We're gonna have fun. You know, we're gonna do something different. But anyways, going back to the toy drive. So going back to 2005, 2006, I had made a decision that this is something I want to do, and I've been very fortunate to do it. And I'm so happy, and I'm so excited to be able to do it again this year, man. When I tell you, I'm like the happiest I've been in terms of like an event. Like I have an event that I'm set to announce probably tomorrow, and maybe to the public they might not receive it like it's a big event, but to me it's one of my biggest events I've ever done because it's what I want to do. People do not understand. I do events not for clout, not for the look, even though I've taken on events for the sake of making some money. I do events because I love what I do. And I love working with the people that I want to work with. This shit ain't about a race, an invincible race. Like, oh, I'm chasing this invincible title to be the best at what? The best in where? Who gives a fuck about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the best promoter in Fort Worth. Like, what does that even mean?
It mean you the best motherfucking promoter.
No, stop that, man. That's the thing about it. There's a world beyond that.
No, but at the end of the day, you like what you're doing. The thing is, it's your passion. You want to do this. It's not something that you're trying to do for clout, like you just said. We don't want clout. We don't want none of that. So, when are the dates? So people are asking, like, what are the dates for this? Like, how can other people get involved? Like,
so if people want to get involved, they can just hit me up. Yeah, for sure. You can hit me up. You can hit you up. Redirect them to me. It's all good, man. I want everybody's help. I would say, in terms of dates, one of the events is going to be December 10th.
December 10th.
That I can give you away. I'm probably going to plan something on December 21st. I'm a little bit debating whether or not I want to do the 21st because the baby's going to be in town that day. But I don't know that it's going to interfere with what I'm trying to do because I'm pretty sure they've already sold out. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I'm definitely going to have a few things lined up, and yeah, we'll see what else happens.
You got a location and everything already?
I do, but I can't be giving it all away, man. I wish I could give it away. I wanted to give you the juice, but I can't give you the juice because I actually haven't finished. You know, there's one or two.
The final paperwork.
No, everything's final. I'm just trying to get my location in place for every single event because, like I said, I was going to do something in Fort Worth, something in Dallas. I was about to hit them super hard, but people don't realize I already have Cassidy coming up on December 6th. I already have Genuine on December 19th. I have a few events coming up in January. I have events, Punkin, real quick, I have events all the way to February right now. So I have on schedule, without the toy drives, I have about 10 events already lined up between now and February, and I haven't announced all of them because I'm overwhelmed, but I'm overwhelmed.
You need a team.
I am a team.
No, you need a team. Like, teamwork makes the dream work.
No, you know what? I've thought
you're managing artists now.
Oh,
you're
yeah.
doing your podcast. You're setting up.
She gave away the managing artist part. I haven't officially signed anybody for the record though. But I was close. So I'll share this story. I'll give you an exclusive. I'll give you the first.
So we're the little
she gets the exclusive right there because she want to know the juice. So we're gonna give her the juice. I was close to signing an artist earlier this year. At least I attempted to. It didn't work out. We secured some funding for the artist, and it was gonna be like a big situation. Unfortunately, it just did not. The stars didn't align. So I was like, fuck this, I'm not doing it. Because I've been asked for at least 8-9 years by several artists, whether it be national, regional, or indie artists, local. I've been asked by a ton of people that have asked me to manage them. I had an artist fly out at the top of this year just to meet with me to manage them. Very successful artist, by the way. And
we ain't getting no name?
Nah, man, I can't give away the name. Well, I'm riding Paul Wall story. I feel like, I'm starting to be more involved with his management team. We communicate daily. But
oh, I've been looking good too. So I'm gonna say hey.
all right, I'll let him know.
Okay.
That was random. Anyways,
Shooting my shot.
you know, but no, what I was trying to tell you before you were shooting your shot was that I was like, yo, I'm not gonna do this. Like, I don't have time for it. But I'm a firm believer that, you know, sometimes it finds you, and so I posted. Somebody convinced me to post on Instagram, like, hey, I'm looking for talent, and I had a lot of people contact me, so I started taking meetings, and I was meeting with different talent, and I came across well, actually 3 situations. So I have one that I'm working through, like a little developmental situation that nobody knows about. Like, nobody knows this exists. Like, I got her signed up with the vocal coach. I'm like training her up before I'm like, hey, all right, let's see if you get past point A, B, and C, then we'll start having the real conversations. Then I have another artist kind of in a similar situation, but they're a little bit further advanced. And then I have another one that I'm just kind of like assisting with the revamping, and we're kind of entering the stages to get to that point. But you have to understand, like, when and if I get into management, I'll fucking shit up. Like, that's just what it is. Like, there's no and if and buts about it. I'm a very driven, results-driven person, and the thing is that I'm really resourceful. And if you're gonna get into that field of artist management, by the way, I want to give some advice to a lot of you aspiring managers and people that want to get into that field, or people that may be in that field. I've worked with artist management on the national level, and I've also worked with aspiring managers on the indie level, right? There's a difference between people that lead with money and people that lead with strategy, and then there's also a difference between people that are resourceful and people that are limited with the resources, right? And to decipher those things is very difficult. At the end of the day, you always have to advocate for the artist that you're working with, right? And sometimes, you know, being a polarizing figure and being bigger than the artist can work against you. But you always have to do what's in the best interest of the artist, right? So whatever I do moving forward, I want to make it as much about the talent versus me, because I don't want to overshadow the talent, and I also don't want to take away from the talent. I want the talent to be the marquee name. I'll be fine being the person behind it, because at the end of the day, I know how to run that play. You know what I'm saying? So I haven't officially put anybody on paper, but you'll be, you know, maybe in the next couple of weeks you'll see some stuff. Maybe I'll sign you, Pumpkin. We put an album out here.
Little Pumpkin, I rap, I sing. I dance.
We need to get you in the studio. You know what I'm saying?
No, listen. True story. I went to the studio.
And
that shit is so hard to rap fast. Like,
why would you rap fast to begin with?
No, first of all, shout out to Nice Major.
Oh, Nice Major, the homie.
Nice Major actually put me in the studio, and he was like, "What beat was that?" It was a fast ass Wayne beat.
Shout out to my boy.
Fast ass fucking what was it? I was like, they call me Lil Punk and I stay jumping. I don't know. But the hardest thing for me, I went hard though. I went hard. No, honestly, I ain't gonna say I went hard, because I will not show nobody this. Like, I literally, every time I play, I'm like, you can just hear the first verse. But that shit hard to, like you gotta go work out or some shit. I don't know. Maybe I smoke too much. Like, I cannot rap fast. I tried to do this twister shit, and like, I was like, da 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 da, and I'd be like, pause. And he'd be like, go, just catch the beat. Just catch it.
It's not even that, though, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, what I was telling you earlier in this conversation, by the way, was that talent can be taught, skill can be taught. You could be taught how to rap, believe it or not.
That's true. You can be taught how to sing.
Well, up to a certain extent, right? But you don't have to be a great singer to be a great recording artist, for the record. If you're well produced,
yeah.
You know
what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to know how to rap. Like, Cardi don't write her raps enough. She's just a good hit artist.
Well, you have to have personality up to some extent, but
I can give him fucking personality.
Okay, well, are we gonna make you a rapper?
Let's do it. I want to be a rapper.
Is this where the conversation's going? What I was trying to explain to you is that none of that means anything if there's not a want for it. I always tell people, you can teach everybody, you can teach this, and this, but you can't teach somebody to want it. That's the point I was trying to make. Because I meet a lot of talent, to the point that we were discussing, that say they want to do it, but they're one boyfriend away from getting the fuck away from the game. They're one boyfriend away from, that's it, I'm not doing anything, and that's it.
Oh, boyfriend, what?
Yeah.
Like, that shit don't even pop up in my head. Ain't no boyfriend stopping shit.
Single,
been mingling, still mingling, hot girl summer still in full effect.
It's the winter, though.
I don't give no fucks. Winter, hot girl summer, winter / fall.
All year. 365. So, yeah.
No, but for real though, we'll link on that later though. because I do think I want to like explore different talent. I always so my thing
So
was
you really trying to rap?
no, but no. Let me go back. So like you can ask everybody in my family. Like we got videos of me since I was younger, like either singing, dancing. Like I had to be in some type of entertainment. So my whole thought process was like,
oh, that'd be a dope name for an album.
What?
Thought process.
Thought
THOT.
We'll write that shit down.
Thought
Y'all
process.
catch that
You know
thought
what I'm saying?
process.
Thought process.
But we would I just always wanted to be in entertainment some way somehow. So then my family convinced me that I couldn't sing. You know, because I was singing so loud. Family and my roommate, because when I got to college, she would always fucking complain about my singing. And
what's your favorite song to sing, by the way?
I sing all types of shit. Anybody who yells, like Fantasia and like Beyonce, anybody who got that yelling ass as far as we could take it, that's where I'm going with my singing.
All right, cool.
And then I can do like some Lauryn Hill too. Like I could slow it down. But I ain't gonna give y'all all that. That's gonna be a whole ass exclusive.
That's not.
And then now I be hearing like Meg Thee Stallion and shit, and I think I can rap. You guys like every time it comes on.
I can tell you right now from the way that you talk, you can rap.
Let's do it.
I've heard people
You got some ghostwriters for me?
Man, come on.
Let's do it.
Say less. I got everybody in there. They'll write you some real hot girl summer
Let's
shit.
do it.
You know
Okay, we'll talk about it later. So if y'all see me, mixtape coming out soon. Oh, and I even be battling my people on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I'm a battle rap my cousins, and I bet I win.
Speaking of battle rap, Cassidy, December the 6th. You know what I'm saying?
December 6th, and
at the Ridgely Room
is when.
December 19th, man. Yo, Genuine's a
These are perfect Christmas gifts, you all. Even if this artist that y'all not into, like this be perfect.
Man,
for
come on,
into
man.
it.
Somebody is into it. You just gotta find them, man. There's a market for everything. So
Yeah.
just know that there's a market for these shows.
So,
If you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, let them know. It's a show. It's a dope show. But continue, man. What else are we talking about? What else is going on?
I'm trying to see who we should give our tickets away to.
Oh, we'll figure
We
that out
got
in a
5
second.
minutes till we off air.
Oh shit! The interview went by that fast. You see, that's how good I am.
That's
You know
how
what I'm
good
saying?
you are.
Woo!
Not to mention, completely forgot to bring this up. This fool was in 2 commercials. You got a commercial for Kia Optima
Yeah,
and WWE.
correct. Those kind, yeah.
Was it which Kia Optima? Like right here in
it was.
Hearst or
No,
something?
you know. Let me tell you what happened. I have and this is the importance, just for the record, because I got to give some advice because I'm over here talking shit like I'm really that guy. But in all honesty, let me give you guys some advice. Keep good relationships because you never know where they can lead. I had a friend of mine that used to shoot music videos that jumped into shooting commercials for car dealerships, and he reached out, and that's pretty much how that happened. And so we just did a spot, and then it was localized, and I put it up, but. It was cool. You know what I'm saying? It was cool.
That's cool.
You know, it's so funny because I try not to be that guy because I do my podcast and I have all these aliases and I talk about being a name dropper, but I've become extremely passive about what I do because I've come to the conclusion that nobody really gives a fuck what you do. I hate to say it that way, but it's the truth. Like, I just developed that over the years. You know what I'm saying?
They just want to see it.
They want to see it, but also...
They just don't want you to talk about it so much. They just want to actually see
Yeah,
the
nobody
shit.
gives a fuck about what you did yesterday. It's about what you did today and what you're going to do tomorrow. So you know what? I always tell people I'm like one Lil Wayne, one Cardi B, one whatever show away from everybody being on my situation again. Everybody calling, everybody being like, yo, what's up? You know, we cool, right? You know, nah, fam, we weren't cool last week, but you know what? It's part of it. And as long as you recognize and understand how people react and how people respond, and it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Because it's funny. It's funny. And people's, you know, the way people approach situations, especially aspiring artists, God bless their souls. You know what I mean? They jump from situation to situation, and it's so obvious that they're going where they can get. They get in where they can fit in.
Exactly.
But, you know, credit to all of them, man. They're just trying to make it in every way they can. But I'm saying I notice it. So just keep good relationships, and you know you don't have to worry about that. People will call you, they'll see it.
Yeah.
They gonna be like, oh, yo, I'm down with them. They doing stuff now. Oh, now he doing stuff. I'm down with nah. Just
I feel like you just really got to be consistent.
Just be chill,
be
man.
Consistent. Do what you love to
let
do.
the work do the talking, baby.
Yeah, let the work do the talking.
They don't
Be
do the
consistent
talking.
and at least start. So if it's anything that you want to do, go start. Go do it. Don't let all this little dumb shit hold you back. All these thoughts in your head. Just go do the shit.
That is your
Everything
final
started
thought.
with a fucking idea.
Final thoughts from Pumpkin Idea. You remember Jerry Springer back in the day?
What do you mean back in the day? Jerry Springer probably still got a fucking show though.
Does he really?
I think so.
Does he
Marvin
really
do.
have?
Yeah.
Maury's show got so.
Them old niggas ain't dying. I'm
Yo,
telling you,
man.
they still doing DNA test shit and have bitches run off the stage. Just nothing's changed. But back on a positive note, y'all. Smooth Vega, he has the Poppin' Podcast. Give me the name of your pop.
It's called the Nothing Beats Experience. It's available on all digital platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud. I already forgot.
All of them.
iHeart, yeah.
The biggest one.
I got some cool. I got
you
some.
Almost forgot.
I got some cool episodes. I got some cool episodes. I just did an episode with Genuine that I really enjoyed. I did an interview with Cassidy. Both of the shows that I got coming up. I did an interview with Bun B.
You did.
I really, really enjoyed that interview. But there's some really good episodes that, like the Paul Wall one, the Crooked Eye one. Those are really informative. They're really. I think the approach that I wanted to take with the show, just to kind of conclude, was I wanted to give it a radio show feel. You know, so we have 45 minutes to an hour dialogue talking about whatever the fuck we want to talk about, and then we go into the interview. So I guess the best way we can compare it is to like a talk show, like when you watch Conan, or when you watch Old School Jay Leno or Jimmy Fallon, where you'll watch the first 30 to 45 minutes and then they bring out the guests. That's kind of what the format that we wanted to pattern after. And when we give the interview, a lot of them are over the phone, and it's really, you know, it's a conversation. You know, it's a conversation that I have with these people. I try to ask questions that people want to know, people that need to know, and I try not to ask the same questions. I think that when interviews get redundant and you're asking the same thing that everybody else is asking, it doesn't make it personal. But I got some cool episodes coming up. Like I said, going back, you know, we're doing a live podcast, you know, that I can't, you know, release the details quite yet. But it's coming. It's coming in December. That's going to be really dope. And I have a big guest that's going to be part of that. And I also have one of the, you know, these toy drives that are coming, like I mentioned to you. And one of the people that has been confirmed already told me they're going to do it. So I'm excited about that. Obviously, I work with the people from the Joe Budden podcast. Joe Budden, Amal is going to be doing the masterclass with me in January. He was supposed to be on the show already. We've already had Parks on there. That show did massive numbers. We're tapping into a whole different audience. Everybody's doing, like, you know, YouTube and stuff, which is cool. I'm not taking anything away from YouTube. I think that there's a world for that, and I want to tap into that world as well. But, you know, how content is being consumed now is so different than the way it used to be consumed. I know people started getting caught up in, you know, and let me drop a gem.
Come on with it. Where the noise at?
Facebook views are not calculated the way that YouTube views are calculated. So a lot of people have this idea that they're actually getting more views than what they actually are. There's a difference between user-initiated views and views that are already on there. So Facebook views, whenever you put a video up, they calculate a view once it hits 3 seconds. But you don't have to be watching it for it to hit 3 seconds. So when people actually are watching it, there's a difference. Where YouTube calculates it on a 30-second view. So to me, I enjoy doing more Spotify because it gives me a real gauge as to how many people are really listening, how many people we're really reaching. And people have this false sense of idea of what they're doing by this number that's not real. So let that kind of simmer in for a second and know that that's kind of where my mind's at. So.
I had no idea that they didn't start counting to 30 seconds on YouTube.
Yeah, which is why people...
And I know that they go off watch hours before you get paid, but I know it's 30 seconds.
30 seconds for it to count as a view. Google it. Pretty informative.
No, I believe you.
No, but I'm saying Google it. It's actually a really good thing to read into because it gives you content consumption ideas and how people are going to consume the content. So I've posted, you talk about artists and me getting into management. I posted a photo shoot of an artist that I'm working with, and then that I posted it on my Facebook story, and I calculated 800, Facebook views on my thing, like people that view my story. So if I know that 800 people are watching, what do you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put a fucking advertisement right after it because I already know that there's 800 people that are gonna potentially carry over, and even if 70%, 80% carry over, and there's only 600 people that view the advertisement, I'm putting it in front of eyeballs. Man, look, marketing 101, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make it drink it. Your job is strictly to lead the horse to the water. Once they get there, next horse. Your job is done once you put your product in front of them. You know what I'm saying? And whether or not they decide to fuck with it or not, you do what you had to do to get them there. That's half the battle to me. Well, that is the battle. You know what I mean? If you're as good as you say you are and your product is as great as what it's supposed to be, they'll convert. So
I agree.
conversion, my friends.
Conversion.
But what's up? Are we out of time? We
Um,
can't go another hour?
shit.
She ain't built like
We can
that?
do whatever we want. No.
Funkin' ain't built like that?
No, I definitely am. Shit, I'm used to doing two. So
You know what I'm
one
saying?
is like
We gotta go back to-
lies.
We gotta go back to the 2-hour shows, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I want to talk that fucking long, honestly. So I never got a chance to keep up. It's so hard for me to keep up with Facebook and everything. To give away the tickets. So
Oh, yeah, I don't know how you want to give away the tickets. I'm giving it
we
a
can probably
Funkin'.
give them away
She
afterwards.
can give them on
We don't give away
Instagram
afterwards. I'm gonna see
story.
who the fuck did what.
Yeah, you know, just
and
holler
see
at
who
her,
the
you know what I'm
fuck
saying?
shared what. And
We hooked
then-
up the Pumpkin Show with tickets, and whatever she decides to do with it is what she decides to do with it.
Yeah.
Just
But y'all
show
make sure y'all show up.
up, show out, show love. You know
Come
what
see,
time
I'm
it
a
is.
hustler. I'm
Yeah,
a
you-
hustler.
people don't understand.
Nigga, okay, go.
You know, hey.
Hey, I haven't seen Cassidy in forever. Like,
You know, he's really popular on YouTube right now. Speaking of that, because
Really?
he went into battle rap. He's putting up.
well, yeah, he been doing battle rap for
Yeah,
some years now.
but no, he got into it. It's really going good for him, and you know, he still puts up a lot of numbers. But when I book artists, and this goes back to the artists that I started booking early on, I always book artists not only that I like, but I also book artists that don't come here a lot. So that's why I'm like even mentioning Jadakiss. I went on my Facebook like, who do you want me to book? Jadakiss or Redman or Pusha T? I think I
Oh,
put Pusha T.
Redman.
I try to book people that haven't been here as often because it saturates the market. So when I used to tell people like, man, let me ask you, if you could book anybody you want to book, who would you want to book? And everybody says the same people. And it changes every 6 months because of whoever's relevant, right? But like, man, there was a point in time where the Beagles were coming here every other month or every month for like 8 months. They were here for like 5 times, you know, like, and it devalues a little bit of the tickets. And a lot of it gets diluted. So it's like, to me, I try to bring people that haven't been here as much, because even if we don't have the 1,000 people show or the 2,000 or the 5,000 or whatever the number is, the fact is that we're giving people an experience to say, I saw that show here because of that person, whether that was Joe, whether that was Royce, whether that was Boogie, whether that was Jordan, whether that was East, whether that was Rakim. By the way, we did Eric B. and Rakim's show, and it took me a year to realize the significance of that show, because I was having people a year later telling me that was the best experience they've ever had. And I'm like, damn, you're right. That was a great show, you know what I'm saying?
That's what Rakim, like elder legends.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, there's an audience for everything, you know what I'm saying? But I try to book people that haven't been here as often, or if they have been here, you know, or, you know, you get where I'm going with it. You know where I'm going with it, you know what I'm saying?
We're definitely gonna link. We got a lot of more stuff to talk about, but so I'll be giving away. I will tell y'all who are the winners, I guess, after the show. I won't be keeping my Facebook Live up for too long.
Yeah, this is exclusive content.
Exclusive content.
Yeah, I ran the whole time, by the way. I don't know who's watching right now, you know. I haven't bothered to see if anybody left any comments, you know, but it is what it is. I'll check it here in a second.
But a lot of people are interested in your toy drive. So December 10th, right?
December 10th will be the first one. I'm hoping that it's in Fort Worth. It's more than likely going to be in Fort Worth. You know, it has to be in Fort Worth. Look, but before I leave, you're a Fort Worth girl. I got love for Fort Worth. You know, 817 all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? If I die in Dallas, drive my body back to Fort Worth. You know what it is, right? And I was telling you the other day how one of my old engineers told me that Fort Worth to Dallas is like Jersey to New York. We're the city across the bridge. But people fail to realize that Fort Worth is an extremely big city, extremely populated. There's over 900,000 people here. We're in the top 15, top 12 population. This is a big city. We're not a small city. There's more people that live in Fort Worth than that live in Atlanta, the capital of hip-hop. Opportunities will come here if you're good enough, and they'll gravitate to you when you're doing the right thing. There's been a lot of success stories here, and I'm happy to be part of the culture here in any way that I am, and I hope that you are one of the success stories moving forward. And with that, mic drop. I'm out.
What? No, I'm gonna pick up on that. I do hope that I am as big. And then shout out to Fort Worth, and thank you so much for coming, y'all. And if y'all don't know him, make sure y'all tune in. Make sure y'all follow him. Everything is, I know Instagram.
Smooth Vega, man. Smooth Vega. All the Smooth Vega. SMOOTHVEG. There's nothing else there. AnalLiveExperience.com for Premier Live Experience, you know, all that good shit.
You can click on every single link and get to all these things. But yeah, if y'all are interested in the toy drive, and then we will announce the winner for the tickets of Cassidy and Genuine. Make sure y'all tune in next week for my 3rd show. I appreciate everybody who tuned in.
Guest.
It was a great opportunity. Thank you so much, Smooth Vega,
Who's
for
the guest?
coming.
She didn't answer.
Bye.
Yeah. Look, I'm finna take it there. This time around, I'ma make it clear. Spoke some things into the universe and they appeared. I say it's worth it, I won't say it's fair. Find your purpose or you wasting there.